An English chapter from Class 10, NCRT, Madam Rides the Bus, is written by Valli Kannan. This is a story of 8-year-old girl named Valli who wanted to travel in bus, and she does it all alone, but in the process she experiences something which changes her perception. It also tells about how children are curious to know more and experience it. Hello everyone, we are watching The Tutor. Before diving into the chapter, let's have a brief intro of author. His real name was R.S. Krishnasamy. He was born on 12th November 1920 and died on 9th November 2006. He was a Tamil writer and journalist. Okay, so now let's see the chapter here. As I told you, this chapter is a story of 8-year-old girl whose name is Wali. There was a girl named Waliyammai. Her full name was Waliyammai, who was called Wali for short. People used to call her Wali instead of Waliyammai. She was 8 years old and very curious about things. She was 8-year-old girl and she was very curious to know new things. Whatever whatever she saw, uh, she wanted to learn more about those things. Her favorite pastime was standing in front doorway of her house watching what was happening in the street outside. So how she used to spend her time? She used to spend her time by standing in the front doorway, means at the entrance of the house. She used to stand and look what is happening in the street outside, because at that time there was no video games or television to do time pass. So this was the activity that she was doing in her free time. What she used to do, she used to stand uh, at the main door and she used to see outside what is happening in the road. There were no playmates of her own age on her street, and this was all about she had to do, because she did not had any friends of her age. Of her age, she was not having any friend, so she used to spend her time watching outside. But for Wali, standing at the front door was every bit as enjoyable as any of elaborate games other children played. Watching the street gave her many new unusual experiences. Okay, so this girl, she was very much interested in watching outside. She was not interested in playing video games or any other games with other children. Other children means elderly children, not of her age, but children elder than her. She used to watch them. Okay, and that gave her a new experience, unusual experience. You can see here in the photo, she is standing at the door and she is watching outside. The most fascinating thing of all was the bus that traveled between her village and the nearest town. So, what was the most interesting thing? Fascinating means interesting. What was the most interesting thing that she found? Uh, it was the bus that used to travel from her village to the town. It passed through her street each hour, once going to the town and once coming back. So every day the bus came to the town and village two times. Okay, that means she used to see the bus two times in a day, once while going to the town and the second time when the bus was returning from the town to the village. The sight of the bus filled each time with a new set of passengers was a source of unending joy for Wali. So what was the unending joy? Means she was very happy to see the new passengers. Every time the bus came and bus went, it had new passengers in it. So that was unending joy for her. Day after day she watched the bus, and gradually a tiny wish crept into her head and grew there. She wanted to ride on that bus even if just once. Now, every day she used to see the bus, and slowly and steadily a thought came in her mind that she also want to ride on that bus. She also wanted to experience the journey, how it feels being on bus. This wish became stronger and stronger until it was an overwhelming desire. Now this wish slowly it became stronger and stronger until it was uncontrollable for her. This wish was uncontrollable for her. Okay. Wali would stare wistfully at the people who got on or off the bus when it stopped at the street corner. So, whenever the bus stood at the corner or at the bus stop, she used to wish that even I could be there, even I could climb the bus and I could get down of the bus. That was her wish. Their faces would kindle in her longings, dreams, and hopes. So she used to hope and she used to dream, even I want to be there. If one of her friends happened to ride the bus and tried to describe the sights of the town to her, Wali would be too jealous to listen and would shout in English, proud, proud. So, if any of her friend came and shared her experience that I had been in the bus and it was so nice to be in bus, if they used to describe about the bus, she felt very jealous because she could not get chance to go uh, into the bus. So she was jealous. She did not like to listen from her friends about the bus, and she used to say, "Proud, proud." Neither she nor her friends really understood the meaning of the word, but they used it often as a slang expression of disapproval. Nobody understood. None of her friends understood what is the meaning of proud, proud. But at least they knew that it means it is a sense of disapproval. When someone is not accepting or someone is not happy, they say proud, proud. They thought like that. Over many days and months, Wali listened carefully to conversation between her neighbors and people who regularly used the bus, and she also asked few discreet questions. Okay, so every day she used to listen to her neighbors and people who were passing uh, in the street. She used to listen their conversation. Conversation means talk. Listen to their talk about the bus, that what they are saying about the bus, because she was very much interested to travel by bus. So she used to listen to the conversation of strangers, of neighbors, and she also used to ask few questions. Discrete questions means some important questions she used to ask about the bus. This way she picked up various small details about the bus journey. So like this she got many information about the bus. Like what information she got? The town was 6 miles from her village. So these details she got. The town was 6 miles from her village. The fare was 30 paise one way, which is almost nothing at all. She heard one well-dressed man say, but to Wali, who scarcely saw that much money from one month to the next, it seemed a fortune. So what detail she got about the bus? That the town was 6 miles from her village, and the fare means the ticket. Okay, the price of the ticket is 30 paise. One way means from village to town, uh, it cost 30 paise, which is almost nothing for others, but for Wali, 30 paise was too much for her. She had to wait for months to collect that money. The trip to the town took 45 minutes. She also came to know that the trip from the village to town or from town to village, it took 45 minutes. On reaching town, if she stayed in her seat and paid another 30 paise, she could return home on the same bus. This meant that she could take the 1 o'clock afternoon bus, reach the town at 1:45 and be back home by about 2:45. Okay, so what information she got? That the town and village has 6 miles distance and it takes 45 minutes, and the cost for one way is 30 paise. Okay, and if she had to travel by bus, she had to take she had to take a bus of 1 o'clock in afternoon. Then she will reach at 1:45, and if she has to return back, it will be 2:45. So she was calculating that if I had to go, she was planning what to do. On and on went her thoughts, and she calculated and recalculated, planned and replanned. So all plannings were going in her mind. Some questions are there. What was Vali's favorite pastime? How she used to spend her free time? By standing at the entrance of her entrance of the door, and she was looking outside what is happening in the street. That was her favorite pastime. What was a source of unending joy for Vali? What was her strongest desire? Okay, what was the source of unending joy for Vali? That she used to see new passengers every time. Okay, every time the bus came, the bus had new passengers in it. So that was unending joy for Vali. And what was her strongest desire? To sit and experience the journey by train. That was her strongest desire. What did Vali find ab- about the bus journey? How did she find out these details? Okay, what information she got about the bus? That it is 6 miles away, and for one way it cost 30 paise, and if she had to go, she had to take the bus of 1 o'clock afternoon. Then while coming, it will be 2:45. Okay, so all this information she gathered. And how she got this information? By listening to the conversation of neighbors and strangers, people who were moving in the street. She used to listen to their words very carefully, and if she had any doubt, she used to ask them about the bus journey. So, like this, she got all the information. What do you think Wali was planning to do? She was planning to enjoy the ride. She was planning how she could travel by bus. That planning was going in her mind. Now let's see. Well, one fine spring day, the afternoon bus was just on the point of leaving the village and turning into the main highway when a small voice was heard shouting, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!" And a tiny hand was raised commandingly. So one afternoon, what happened? The bus was moving towards the highway, but as soon as it was about to turn in the highway, somebody heard the voice, "Stop the bus, stop the bus." And it was a small voice, means it was the voice of a kid, and a tiny hand was raised. Okay, she was raising her hand and she was saying, "Stop the bus, stop the bus." The bus slowed down to crawl, means the moving bus now slowed down. The driver slowed down the bus to stop it, and the conductor, sticking his head out the door, said, "Hurry then, tell whoever it is to come quickly." Now the conductor, he peeped outside the door and said, "Who wants to climb up? Come fast." "It's me," shouted Wali. "I am the one who has to get on." Now Wali said, "It's me. I have to climb on the bus." By now the bus had come to a stop, and the conductor said, "Oh, really? You don't say so." So now the bus reached the bus stop, and it was stopped now. Conductor said, "Really, you want to come inside the bus? Don't say me that you want to come," because she was 8-year-old child. How can 8-year-old child come alone? So the conductor was saying, "Do you really want to climb in the bus?" "Yes, I simply have to go to town," she replied. "Yes, I simply want to go to the town." Still standing outside the bus, "And here's my money." She showed him some coins. She had some coins in her hand, and she said, "See, this is my ticket. Okay, you give me ticket. I want to go to the town." "Okay, okay, but first you must get on the bus," said the conductor, and he stretched out a hand to help her up. So the conductor said, "Okay, you keep the coin with yourself. First you get in the bus, then you give me the money." So by saying that, he stretched his hand, means he gave his hand so that Wali could come, uh, Wali could climb up the bus. "Never mind," she said. "I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me." Now this Wali, she did not take the help of conductor. She said, "No, you don't give me your hand. I can climb by my own. No need of your help." The conductor was a jolly sort. Jolly means friendly type. The conductor was of friendly nature, fond of joking. "Oh, please don't be angry with me, my fine madam," he said. "Here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody move aside, please. Make way for madam." Now, this conductor, he was of jolly type of nature, means friendly type of nature. So he said, "Okay, don't get angry. Okay, madam." He called her as madam. Why he called her as madam? Because she was giving her own opinion. Okay, she had her own opinion. So he said her madam, and he made way for her that come and sit on the front seat. He made way for her and tell and told her to come and sit here on front seat. It was the slack time of day. Slack time means it was not peak time. It was not peak time. Usually, if you go at the peak time, you will not get seat to sit. So it was not the peak time, so the seats were available. It was vacant. And there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. They were all looking at Wali and laughing with the conductor. Wali was overcome with shyness. Now, when everybody started to laugh, all the passengers and conductor, when they started to laugh, Wali, she felt little shy. Avoiding everyone's eyes, she walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. Then, because she was feeling shy, she did not look at anyone and she went and sat on empty seat. You can see here, passengers are laughing. Conductor is also cracking joke. Wali, she is looking down. She is not looking at anyone. "May we start now, madam?" the conductor asked, smiling. Then he blew his whistle twice, and the bus moved forward with a roar. Now the conductor, he was making fun of Wali. He said, "Okay, madam, are you ready? Are you comfortable with your seat? And can we start the bus?" Then he blew his whistle twice, and then the bus started to move with a roar, with a sound. It was a new bus, its outside painted a gleaming white with some green stripes along the sides. So it was a new bus, so it was shining outside. The paint color was green. Green stripes means green lines were there, green and white color lines. Inside, the overhead bars shone like silver. Means inside the bus, the bars, the steel bars that were shining like silver. Because it was a new bus, so everything was new and clean. Directly in front of Wali, above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock, and the bus also had a beautiful clock. The seats were soft and luxurious. Okay, so all this means that the bus was very good and comfortable. Wali devoured everything with her eyes. Devoured means she saw everything. Okay, she saw everything with her eyes. It was very pleasant to see. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. So she stood up on the seat and peered over the blind. So where she was sitting, there was a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. Because of that, she could not see the full view of the outer side. So she stood up on the seat to see the full view. The bus was now going along the bank of canal. The road was very narrow. Narrow means very thin. The road was very thin. On one side there was the canal, and beyond it palm trees, grassland, distant mountains, and blue sky. On the other side was a deep ditch, and then acres and acres of green fields, green, 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 as far as the eye could see. So when she stood up on the seat, what she saw, on one side she saw that there is a palm tree, grassland, mountains, blue sky. And on the other side, when she saw, what she see on the other side, the greenery, acres and acres of land which was fully covered with greeneries. Okay, so this was the scene. Oh, it was so wonderful. Suddenly she was startled by a voice, means she was warned. Somebody warned her. Listen, child, said the voice. You shouldn't stand like that. Sit down. Somebody warned her, don't stand like that. Sit down. Sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her, but she was annoyed by his attention. Now she sat down and she started seeing who is that man who said me to sit. She was annoyed, means she was not happy. She was not happy by the warning given by the elderly man. But that elderly man, he was very much concerned about this girl. So he said him to sit. If not, she may fall from the window or okay. There's nobody here who is a child, she said. Now, what reply she gave to that elderly man? There is nobody here who is a child. Haughtily. Haughtily means very proudly, she said. I have paid my 30 paise like everyone else. Now, because she was not happy with that warning, she said, here nobody is a child. Even I have paid 30 paise like everyone. The conductor chimed in. Oh, sir, but this is a very grown up madam. Do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone? Now the conductor joined that elderly man. He said that she is not a child, she is a grown up madam. You know, she is a grown up madam. She has paid her ticket by herself and she is traveling alone to the city. She is not a girl. A girl cannot do that. Wali shot an angry glance at the conductor and said, I am not a madam. Now, Wali, she became angry and she said, I am not a madam. She replied to conductor, please remember that. And you have not yet given me my ticket. Now she is asking for ticket that I gave you my 30 paise, but you did not give me my ticket. I'll remember, the conductor said, mimicking. Okay, now the conductor, he also started to say in her voice that okay, okay, I remember that you have given me money. I'm giving your ticket. Wait, like that. Everyone laughed and gradually Wali too joined in the laughter. Now Wali also started laughing along with everyone. The conductor punched a ticket and handed it to her. Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand when you have paid for a seat? Now, conductor, he gave her ticket and said, when you have paid your money, when you have paid for ticket, then why you want to stand and go? Sit and enjoy the journey. Because I want to, she answered. Now she replied, because I want to stand, so I'm standing. I don't want to sit. Standing up again. But if you stand on the seat, you may fall and hurt yourself when the bus makes a sharp turn or hits a bump. That's why we want you to sit down, child. Now the conductor is saying that why we are saying you to sit, because if bus gives a sudden break, you may fall or you may hurt yourself. So we are saying you to sit. For your goodness, we are saying. I am not a child, I tell you, she said irritably. I'm 8 years old. Now again she is saying that I'm not a child. Don't say me child. I'm 8 years old. Of course, of course. How stupid of me. 8 years. Conductor is saying, yes, you are 8 years grown up child. You are not a small child. The bus stopped. Some new passengers got on, and the conductor got busy for a time. Afraid of losing her seat, Wali finally sat down. Now there was another stop, and new passengers got on the bus. So when Wali saw the new passengers are coming, she was afraid that her seat will go. So now she sat on her seat. An elderly woman came and sat beside her. Are you all alone, dear? She asked Wali at the bus as the bus started again. Now a new passenger came. She sat next to Wali and she asked that are you traveling alone? Wali found the woman absolutely repulsive, means not good. Okay, she did not like her. Such big holes and she had in her earlobes and such ugly earrings in them. And she could smell the betel nuts the woman was chewing and see the betel juice that was threatening to spill over her lips at any moment. Now a new passenger came and sat next to Wali and she asked, are you traveling alone? So when she saw who is this lady, her appearance was very bad. Wali did not liked her appearance because she was having big holes in her earlobes and she was wearing ugly earrings, and also she was smelling very bad. She was eating betel nuts and the betel juice was coming out of her mouth. So it was looking very dirty to Wali. Ugh, who could be sociable with such a person? Now she is thinking to herself that who could talk to this lady? She is looking so ugly. Who will be friendly with this person? Yes, I'm traveling alone, she answered curtly. Curtly means showing displeasure. She replied to the question that yes, I'm traveling alone, and I have got a ticket too, and I have also paid my ticket. Yes, she is on her way to town, said the conductor with a 30 paise ticket. Now conductor is also saying yes, yes, this girl, she is traveling alone and she has paid her ticket fare. Oh, why don't you mind your own business? Said Wali. Now Wali is telling to conductor, why are you poking your nose? I'm talking to the lady. Why you are poking in between? Do your business, mind your own business. But she laughed all the same, and the conductor laughed too. Now Wali understood that conductor is trying to make fun of her. So now she is not getting angry. She is also cracking jokes, okay, to him. But the old woman went on with her drivel. Is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you are going in town? What's the street? What's the house number? Now this woman who was chewing the betel nuts, she started asking nonsense questions. Drivel means nonsense questions that do you know it is good to travel alone? Why are you traveling alone? Where are your parents? This, that, she started asking. You need not bother about me. I can take care of myself, Wali said, turning her face towards the window and staring out. Now Wali was not happy by the questions of the lady. She said, you don't have to bother me. I know where I'm going and I know how to take care of myself. And she did not even look at the lady. She was looking outside the window. Oral comprehension. Okay. Why does the conductor call Wali madam? Because she was speaking too much, and also she had her own view. She knew what to say and what to accept and what not to accept. She knew everything. So he called her as madam. Why does Wali stand up on the seat? What does she say now? She was standing on the seat because there was a canvas blind on her window, and she could not see clearly outside, so she stood up on the seat to see the clear picture, what's happening outside, what's the scene outside the window. And what she saw from there, from one side she saw mountains, blue sky, and palm trees, and on the other side she saw acres and acres of greenery. Okay. Then next, what does Wali tell the elderly man when he calls her a child? She said that here nobody is a child. I have also paid 30 paise for my ticket. So here there is no child. Don't call me a child. Then next, why didn't Wali want to make friends with the elderly woman? Because she was not looking good. Her appearance was very bad. She had big holes in her earlobes and her earrings were ugly, and also the betel juice were coming out of her mouth, and she was smelling very bad. So she did not wanted to talk with the elderly woman. Then next. Her first journey was what careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermint toys, balloons, and the like, and finally she had saved a total of 60 paise. Okay, here thriftily means very carefully, okay? Thriftily means very carefully because she had decided that she will travel by bus, so she had to save money. 30 paise was too much for her, but she sacrificed her temptation, means she got some coins by her parents to eat chocolates and to buy toys, but she did not buy any toys. She did not buy any chocolates, peppermints, balloons. Everything she sacrificed just to save 60 paise so that she could travel by bus, okay, and she could experience the uh, journey. She could experience the trip, and it was very difficult for her. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. Okay, she had to sacrifice many things in order to get a ride of the bus. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. Now, once she saved 60 paise for the bus, now the other problem was how to get out of the house without informing her mother. Because if she say to her mother will not allow her to go. So, how to get out of the house without informing her mother? That was her second problem, but she managed this without too much difficulty. Anyhow, she managed to do that. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap. Nap means sleep. Okay. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. So the timing was 1 to 4, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Her mother used to sleep, take nap after lunch. So that was a good time for her to go out. Wali always used these hours for her excursions as she stood looking from the doorway of her house, or sometimes even ventured out into the village. So this timing from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, this was the time when Wali could do anything of her choice because her mother was asleep. These same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. Excursion means trip. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet. Hamlet means village, or past an odd wayside shop. So now the bus was moving. It moved a landscape. Okay, it moved across a landscape, and a village also it crossed. Some shops also crossed. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. Gobbling up means swallowing. Go, gobbling up means swallowing, and pedestrian means person who walks on footpath, person who walks on road. So when the bus was moving, it was looking as if the bus will eat the other vehicle that is coming from the opposite direction, or it may dash the pedestrian, the person who is walking next to the bus. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all the obstacles safely behind. Obstacles means problems. So anyhow, it did not damage anything, neither pedestrian nor any small vehicle. So very smoothly the bus was moving. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in other direction. See, when you see from the moving bus or train, when you see outside, you will feel that as if trees are moving and coming in your direction. Okay, so the same feeling she was also having, that the trees are coming towards her. Then after some times, she felt that trees has stopped moving. Then again, it is moving in opposite direction. So this she is sharing her experience, how she is feeling watching outside the window. Suddenly, Vali clapped her hands with glee. Glee means happiness. She was so happy that she started clapping her hands. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to crawl, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. So why she was clapping her hands? Because she saw a young cow. It came in front of the bus with its tail high in the air, and when the driver he is horning, he is giving horn. The cow got confused. Uh, Okay, he got confused where to go. So that made her laugh. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. Okay, so what she saw that the young cow got confused. It came and stood in front of the bus. In spite of the horn sound, the cow is not moving. So that made her very happy. Somehow this was very funny to Wali. She laughed and laughed until there was tears in her eyes. Okay. Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough? Called the conductor. Better save some for tomorrow. Now the conductor was watching her that she is so happy looking at the cow. So he said that stop laughing now. For today you have laughed much. Keep some laugh for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow. At last, the cow moved off the road. Finally, the cow got its way. It moved off the road. And soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. So, from very far, speck means a drop or a dot, you can say. A dot of train means a very small train could be seen because it was very far. Slowly it came near to the bus, okay, and it looked bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. So when the train was moving in front of the bus, there was a loud noise, and also the bus was shaking out of that speed of the train. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there, it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning, entered a wider thoroughfare. Okay. Traversed means cross. It crossed a busy shopping street. Now the bus it crossed the shopping street, and then thoroughfare. Thoroughfare it is a public road. Such big, bright looking shops. What glittering display? Glittering means shining. Displays of clothes and other merchandise. Merchandise means things for sale that are kept in the shop. Such big crowds. Now, what she is seeing that many shops and glittering displays means dummies are there. They are wearing good, beautiful clothes and other items also. She is seeing in the shop, and a huge crowd. She can also see huge crowd. Struck dumb with wonder. Now she was wondering and she was surprised. Wali gaped at everything. Gaped means she opened her mouth and she was staring at everything. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off the bus except Wali. Now that was the last stop. That means the town came. Everyone they got off the bus, but Wali she was sitting inside. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? Now the conductor is asking, are you not ready to get off the bus? Go and have a view of the town. This is as far as your 30 paise takes you. You gave 30 paise, now here your 30 paise ends up. Now you have to get off of the bus. No, Wali said, I'm going back on the same bus. She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Now she is giving another 30 paise to the conductor and saying that I am not getting down of the bus. I want to go to village again. Why, is something the matter? No, nothing the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride. That's all. So conductor asked, is there any problem why you are not getting out of the bus? Why you want to go to village again? She said, no, I just wanted to have a bus ride, so I came. Don't you want to have a look at the site now that you are here? The conductor is saying, okay, if you wanted to just have a ride, now you have reached here, you can go out and see. You can see the shop, you can see the crowd, you can see the town, how beautiful it is. She said, no, all by, she said, all by myself. Oh, I had been much too afraid. Now she's saying that I'm afraid to go out because everything is new. I don't want to go alone outside. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, "But you weren't afraid to come in the bus." Now the conductor is asking, "You were not afraid when you came into the bus? At that time also you were alone, but now why you are feeling so scared of getting down of bus?" "Nothing to be afraid of about that," she answered. She said, "Nothing like that. I'm not afraid." "Well, then, why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either." Now the conductor is saying, "Don't be afraid of anything. You can go out and drink something." "Oh no, I couldn't do that." "Well, then, let me bring you a cold drink." Then she said, "No, I don't want to go out." So the conductor said, "Okay, I will bring you a cold drink inside the bus only." "No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all." She said, "No, I don't have money to buy drink from outside. You just give me my ticket so that I can reach my village. It will be my treat and not cost you anything." He said, "Okay, if you don't have money, no problem. I will pay for you. I will bring you the drink. It will be a treat from my side." "No, no," she said firmly. Firmly means very strictly or very clearly. "Please no." That means she refused to take the drink from conductor. The conductor shrugged and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin and return the journey. Again there weren't many passengers. Now they waited for a while so that the passengers could come in the bus and the bus could leave to the village. Again there were very less passengers. It was not the peak time. How did Wali save up money for her first journey? Was it easy for her? No, it was not easy for her because she had to sacrifice her temptation like buying peppermint, buying toys, buying balloons. She did not buy anything, just she wanted to save 60 paise so that she could have the journey of bus. What did Wali see on her way that made her laugh? She saw a young cow came in front of the bus, and when the driver was horning, the cow got confused and it did not move here and there. That made Wali to laugh. Why didn't she get off the bus at the bus station? Why she didn't get off the bus? Because she did not wanted to go out of the bus. Her plan was to uh, to have the experience of have to experience the journey of the bus. That's it. Not to go to the town and see the crowd. That was not her plan. Just to enjoy the journey. So she did not get off of the bus. Why didn't Wali want to go to the stall and have a drink? What does this tell you about her? Yeah, because it was not in her plan to go out and see the market, and she was not having money to buy the drink. Even though the conductor offered her drink, she refused to take the drink. This tells about her nature that she is very much matured. Even though she is 8-year-old girl, she is enough mature to take her life's decision. Okay, she has self-respect. Now next. "Won't your mother be looking for you?" the conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. "No, no, no, no one will be looking for me," she said. Now conductor asked if your mother will search you here and there. She said, "No, no one will be looking for me." The bus started and again there were the same wonderful sights. Again she started to enjoy the uh, scene outside the window. Wali wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. Okay, so she was enjoying the journey. She did not feel bored. Even though it was her second time she was returning to the village, she wasn't bored. She was enjoying the trip. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. All of a sudden, what she saw a young cow lying down. It is dead and its legs are spread. It is, the cow is dead and his eyes are opened and it was crashed by a moving vehicle. "Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town?" she asked the conductor. She is asking the conductor, "Is that the same cow that made me laugh so much?" The conductor nodded, means yes. He said yes. And she was overcome with sadness. Now she was sad. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just like a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. Now she's thinking that, uh, see how the cow is dead now. While we were going to the town, the cow was alive. It made me happy. I laughed so much for this cow, and now while returning, this cow is no more. What is this? Now she learned a lesson about life and death. Okay, the bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, means that picture was coming in her mind. The dead body of the cow was coming in her mind, dampening her enthusiasm. Now she lost her interest of traveling. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. Uh, now she lost the interest to look out of the window. She sat thus glued to her seat. Glued means fixed. Now she did not move from her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." Okay, now she reached her village. She stretched herself, and now it was time to get down of the bus. She said to the conductor, "Okay, hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us, and don't forget to bring your fare." Now the conductor is saying, "Okay, madam, whenever you feel to join us, you can come, but bring your fare," means your 30 paise, your 60 paise bring with you. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. Then she ran towards her home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Wali's aunts, that one from South Streets. So some guest had arrived in her house. That was Wali's aunt, and her mother was talking to that aunt. This aunt was a real chatterbox. Chatterbox means talkative. That aunt was very talkative, never closing her mouth once she started talking. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Wali came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. Now, when she entered the house, the aunt, she put a question to Wali, that where were you? You were not in the house. Where were you? But her question was very casual. She did not wanted any answer from Wali. She simply asked her. So Wali just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with her conversation. Okay, so they both uh, continued their conversation, and Wali, she just smiled and moved from there. "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we?" So these two ladies, they were talking about something, that things happen uh, outside, and we don't understand why it is happening and all. Okay, so something they were talking like that. "Oh yes," breathed Wali. "What?" asked her mother. "What's that you say?" "Oh," said Wali, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge." So when she heard, they both were talking about the things happening in the world, they don't understand, everything happen out of their knowledge. So she said, "Yes, I agree with your words. Just a chit of a girl." Chit means immature girl. She said her aunt, "and yet look how she pokes her nose into our conversation." Now the aunt, she is saying that, "See this little 8-year-old girl, how she's entering in our conversation. She is poking her nose in our conversation." Wali smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile. Now Wali knew that what she has done. She went to the town, and she returned again from the town. So she did not wanted to say everything to her mother. Okay, so that made her smile. that yes, things happen in the world without our knowledge. Her mother didn't knew where Wali had gone, and so for that reason she was smiling and she wanted to keep that secret. But then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? She also thought, who will tell to my mother that I have been to the town and I'm just coming from there? So this will be secret and nobody will tell her because nobody know it. Okay? So here the chapter ends. This chapter is translated from Tamil by K.S. Sundaram. I hope you have understood this chapter. Okay? We have seen a young girl whose name is Vali. She is very brave, very clever, and even matured. She is very much mature. She has self-respect. She know how to take her life's decision. Okay, how to speak with strangers. Even though it was her first trip outside the village, she was very confident. She knew what to do and what not to do. Even though people were insisting her to get down of the bus or they were trying to make her friend, she did not allow anyone to come near to her. So uh, all these qualities in 8-year-old girl, we find very less to see. Okay, and this shows her boldness and her nature. She was quite clever. Okay, so here the chapter ends. I hope you have found this video useful. If you want more such explanation of the chapter, then do hit the like button, share and subscribe it.